Be showing you the progress that I've done with Castor. So this is the next month after the last video. So I've just been doing just a few sessions of him leading. So he's gotten somewhat better. He's staying by my side really well. He's staying further back really well and following the target. He does get lost sometimes and kind of get in front of me a little bit, but he's responding nicely to lead road pressure. I like where he's leading from right here. He's like nice and parallel and his head's even with my shoulder. So I'm going to be rewarding him a lot for that. He's got a nice little backup right there. So he's looking pretty good for the amount of time I've spent with him. He was great to halter, put the lead on. That was all the same as the last video, so I didn't keep that in. But he looks really good. Totally fine with putting all that stuff on. He just like let me toss the rope on him. Yeah, he's really responding nicely to that lead rope pressure. I really like all of that, and he's stopping. Give me he had a little bit too much backup. He wanted to back up immediately, and so I'm just gonna kind of go with him a little bit, and then just have him come forward and target that. So I'm not gonna punish him. I'm not gonna freak out or do anything. He just thought he was supposed to back up after he stopped, and I don't want it to be a bad experience for him. So I'm just kind of I was trying to ask him to come forward a little bit, and he kept backing up, so he didn't quite understand. So I released, kind of went with him, and then showed him the target to kind of refocus him. Here he's a little confused as well. He thinks maybe go the other way. In the beginning, they're very all over the place. He knows like to come off of pressure, but not exactly what I want, like as far as going side to side and stuff. And this little patch that he's in was kind of muddy, so they were not really wanting to walk in there. So I think that had something to do with it as well. This looks really great. I like this leading position. He's just quietly following and he stopped really nice next to me. I probably could have clicked that. That was really good. And he's just following really nicely. He's kind of feeling the end and not panicking or anything like that. Just coming off of the rope, not being worried about it, and then just knowing that he's going to get a reward for doing so. So he's pairing that positively versus you're going to have to fight against it and you're just not going to win kind of thing that happens a lot with negative reinforcement. So I like this a little bit better, or a lot better. I like this a lot better. But so I've got just like a longer training line. I think it's like a 12-foot lead rope, and then I do have gloves on because it's cold, but also he's wild. I'm teaching him to lead, so gloves are always really important. But really, my main tool here is that target. That's giving him that focus. That's showing him where I want him to be. Like it's just showing him, see, and then he got confused there. I'm showing him the turn, like I'm right here. This is where you need to be. Because sometimes he'll, instead of his default being stand and wait for other instructions, be like, should I back up? Should I go sideways? And he'll just kind of throw things at you and he doesn't really know. So I want him to focus and stop, and it's not a big deal. And I'm just having him touch the end of the rope here, make sure that that wasn't worrying him when I ask him to lead. He seemed pretty good with that. I had to do a lot of that with Atlas because he'd feel like the snap and the rope touch his chin, and that worried him. So that's important to do if you're starting a Mustang or another like feral horse or something like that. Make sure all those little details matter, especially with the Mustang. Like I never even thought about that with any domestic horse before, but it's scary to them. They don't know what it is. So it's important that we break everything down and make it as easy for them to understand as possible so they don't have anything to be afraid of. But I'm just going to let him hang out here for a second and chew his treat here. It's good for him to just kind of stand at the end of the lead rope and just hang out. He needs to do a lot more standing, so he's getting that default of I just stand and kind of wait. And he's following that lead really nice. I'm just kind of going off to one side or the other, trying to lead from both sides. And he's a little bit a little bit concerned on this side. He's not sure what he's supposed to do. I'm just kind of show him like we're gonna go this way. I'm just gently asking him to go over to the side and try and steer him where I want him to be without him doing this big movement because he wants to just go this one way versus just waiting for my direction. That looks really nice. But it does help a lot when I walk forward and then he follows me. He understands that well. the last few minutes here, I was just trying to ask him to go forward off of the lead rope pressure itself because he's going to feel that without any pre-cue, which would be my body movement. So I want him to get used to that too before I just rely on me walking forward because he's going to feel that in the trailer when he's tied, just at other times. So I want to make sure that's okay too. But I just wanted to do a little quick update on where he was at. He's doing great and improving with his leading.